Hey guys, welcome back to Nuhlikkletwang, and that's right, we're at season 3, episode 3. Now, I know we took kind of a long break or a week break, just because we had some stuff to sort out, but we're back and we have a guest. Now, before getting into anything, before even speaking to Shads, I just want everybody to know that we love that you're watching the videos on YouTube. However, we need more subscribers. We're seeing views, but we're not seeing any subscribers, or we're seeing a little bit of subscribers. So if you like the videos, share it with your family. Please subscribe on YouTube. Also follow us on all socials. That's Nuhlikkletwang, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and on any platform that has audio podcasts. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's speak with Shads. So Shads, you took a break, welcome back. How are you doing today?
I'm feeling okay. I'm not like 100%, but I am here. And once again, I am still COVID free. Thank the Lord. Birthday's around the corner. So I am grateful for that I am going to live to see another day, another
Mm-hmm.
year.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, it's another pandemic birthday, but again, there are worse things that are happening. So I'm grateful. And I mean, we press on.
I mean, we have to. I mean, pandemic birthdays are okay. I had a birthday last year
I
that
don't know.
wasn't a
Yeah.
pandemic birthday, so I'm grateful.
Yeah.
Got
See, that's
lit.
why you could say that because you had only one, but when you have two, no.
Sucks to be you. Well, we do have a guest. We have Mr. Mario Palmer, and Mario, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're here today.
I don't even know myself, to be honest. Still finding myself. Still finding myself. But I'm me. I've been doing social media for about 8 or 9 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Worked in marketing, politics, small business, everything. So I've done it all pretty much. Done all except for podcasting.
Okay, well, you're here today, so add that to your list. Thank you so much, Mario. No, it wouldn't be Nuhlikkletwang season 3 if we didn't test your knowledge of the Caribbean or all things Jamaican. So, Mario, I follow you on socials. I've known you for years, and one of the things that you're really big on is like wine country, coffee, and food. So, we have two questions for you. The first question is, if I were to go to Jamaica tomorrow and I requested dip and fallback from a restaurant, what am I asking for?
First of all, you wouldn't get that in any restaurant in Jamaica. You have to go to your grandma
Big
first.
up yourself.
Secondly,
Trick
I have
question.
no clue what the pump fallback is. Well, I've never seen it on the menu in Jamaica.
I kind of feel like we need to change that though. But what is dip and fallback?
I have no clue. You'd have to tell me.
Okay, so dip and fallback is actually one of the older names for rundown or mackerel rundown, sawfish
Uh,
rundown. Yeah. Okay, so that is 0 of 2,
yeah, give
Mario.
me the second one.
Kind of sad. Kind of sad. Okay. So for
Redemption.
your redemption question, it is, if I were to, go to a cook shop, let's use a cook shop. If I went to a cook shop in Jamaica and I requested stamp and go, what am I asking for?
Saltfish fritters preferably, but no, you probably get regular like flour with seasonings. But traditionally it's saltfish fritters.
My love, how you put the people in business out there and say flour with seasoning.
I mean, we have to keep
Like,
it real. We
I
should
mean, gotta
rest.
keep it 100.
that
Yeah.
is that is true. That is true. But thank you, Mario. You redeemed yourself. You got one question of two. Right? I
Yay!
mean, that's a pass. That's a pass. If we were talking
50%.
efficacy,
Like I said,
if we were talking efficacy of vaccines, you're gone through. Okay, so guys, there you have it. Mario answered his question. He got one of his questions right. So we have to celebrate. So give us a couple of seconds and we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back, and today's episode is on social media. Now, you're watching us on YouTube, you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, so I'm pretty sure you're kind of big on social media, at least a little bit. Now, Mario has worked in the industry for a couple of years, and that's why he's here to answer a lot of the questions we have about social media. So, Mario, we had a little round table talk before our episodes, and we kind of like tried to figure out what social media is. But what is social media? In the easiest definition that our viewers or listeners can actually get.
In essence, social media is that magical thing that connects the world. It connects your grandma, it connects your friends in India, connects everybody all through a screen, not necessarily your phone, but through a screen. And that's
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
pretty much what social media is. That's what it means to me, at least.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
that is fair. That is fair. Thank you for that. Let's
What do
move
you
to
think social media
Shad's.
is?
What do I think social media is? Honestly, Mario, I looked this up before the episode. So, I'm going to tell you about a platform that is interactive, which allows people from different places to communicate. It could be WhatsApp, it could be Twitter, Instagram. If you're a little bit older, like myself here, you would know about like Zorpia or High Five,
MySpace.
MySpace,
MySpace.
with your little one friend. What name, Tom?
And
Where is Tom?
Tom
exactly.
is probably living his best life. I'm sure that if he made any money from oh yes, oh, and how can we forget Black Planet? That
I
was
wasn't on
the
that.
Never heard of it.
I don't feel
wow.
alone. Yay.
Well, as on Black Planet, it was the website that taught me how to code HTML. Um, and
MySpace did that.
no, y'all just copied CSS from like different places and then made your MySpace page into this heavy, 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 heavy. I don't even know what to call it of yourselves. So we're not getting into that. So I did my definition. Mar did his definition. Shads, you're always on social media. You live there. You have a photography page, and you taught me a couple of things about social media. So what is social media to you?
It's a digital platform that allows people to share content and interact with people, basically be social.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the simple, straightforward response. It's another form of medium that is bringing joy to the world.
Joy. Okay, and that's fair.
Heavy on the sarcasm.
I mean, I love that. No, one of the reasons why we're discussing social media is, simply because of the impact it has on our lives, everybody's lives. From my grandma in Jamaica to us here to people in India, we get our news. We share pictures, we share videos, we share memes on social media, but that just seems very puerile and basic. What I want to discuss is how does social media impact our lives as individuals? I know it is the pandemic. Everybody and their mother is now a virologist, a doctor, a counselor. Everybody assumed new jobs during the pandemic without actually going to school.
A
Um,
lawyer.
Lawyers, everybody knows everything. In fact, journalists were created through the pandemic because of social media. So, Mario, how exactly are we influenced by social media? How are people's lives shaped by social media?
Well, I can speak of a couple of things, a couple of examples.
Hmm.
Social media not only connects people, like you said, it is also a tool that keeps us informed. Luckily, we live in an age where information is like a snap of a finger.
Yeah.
Fortunate and unfortunate in some cases,
Yeah.
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
but it's I look at the positives because social media pays my bills. um,
Fair enough.
so I think social media is that great little thing that connects the world. It allows us to get information quickly. For me, it has gotten me many jobs.
Hmm.
It has allowed me to see many places that I didn't even think about.
Mm-hmm.
You know have the ability to see the world from your living room.
That's
That's one of
very
the
true.
greatest things about social media. You can connect and see anywhere in the world, even outer space. Sometimes if you're that kind of person, just from your living room. Yeah. So that's what social media really means to me. Like that's what it is for me. It's a connector. It's allowing me to see and do things that I would you think I would be able to do 12 years ago.
Okay, okay. And I love that, Mario. I don't want to get into the jobs that you've held as it pertains to social media, but I
But
know a
what
lot of
if
the
some people want
jobs,
to know?
we're not those people. We're not going to put people business out there like that, you know?
But that's what social media does.
Yeah, but if there's an after dark edition, we'll discuss that. But right now, we're not going to do that. Now, with social media, Mario, we know that we can use it to, shape how people view us or the people that we work for. So it's like creating these profiles, um, creating images of people. Like I know in Jamaica, one of the things that was just huge was that a lot of politicians, lots of artists had people managing their social media profiles, and they were curating the content so that it gave them a particular look,
Right.
right? Now that is very professional, but let's talk about how it helps to shape the view of the common man with TikTok and Instagram and Twitter,
Ooh, child.
specifically with the pandemic. We've seen the rise of people who are pro-vaccine, anti-vaccine, skeptic. We've seen all sorts of people, but we've also seen with the elections as well, people who were for the previous US president, people who were against the previous US president. In fact, in a country like Jamaica, where we didn't really talk about politics prior to the late 2000s, people are actually stating their political affiliation on social media. So why is that? Why is there a general shift in how we interact with social media, how we interact with people now? Because in Jamaica, if I was, let's say, for lack of a better word, a labor right back in the day, I wouldn't tell nobody because we've seen the news, right? And if I were anti-vaccine, no, in like that's kind of something I wouldn't necessarily talk about on social media because I'm afraid of backlash. Why is it that people feel comfortable with sharing that part of their lives on social media?
Well, I here's how I see it. I think we're all behind the screen, and there's so much
Mm-hmm.
power you have once you're behind the screen.
Yep.
There's not much backlash to expect, and even if it is expected or you anticipate it, to delete it's a 9 day wonder, like with tobacco was a 9 day wonder or something
Right.
like that. But I think the ability to just say whatever you want in, well, it used to be 120 words. Um,
For
for
wasn't it
TikTok,
140 for Twitter?
yeah,
Or
120 I think, or 140.
okay.
So now
Yeah.
people are able to just say what they want behind the screen and share a photo and say freely, "Hey, I'm XYZ, and I dare you to say something about it. You have to
Hmm.
agree with me, or don't agree with me. I don't care. This is my platform, and this is how I'll share my opinions and my views."
And that's very interesting, and I like that you were able to put that spin to it, that it is my platform and I want to share my views. No, you said something, and because you've said this, I'm not even going to ask Shads the same question. No, Shad, based on what Mario said, it's my platform, I'm allowed to share my views. How do you feel about censorship on social media?
I think it is needed. I think people still need that reminder that regardless that you are behind a screen and you feel that it's a shield that you're protected,
Mm-hmm.
that you also need to be just as mindful of people's feelings, people's opinions as you would if you're in person.
Mm-hmm.
And that despite the fact that you may feel that, hey, I live in a country that allows me to have XYZ perspectives and rights and freedoms, it's a platform that's global and not
Mm-hmm.
everyone's country allows to do the same thing. So therefore, it's not okay for you to say every and anything that comes to your mind because yes, we all are different human beings. We all have
Right,
different
right.
opinions,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to cap it at some point.
And
And I mean, these companies are in their right to do that because they're still private. They don't owe anything to the government. They don't have to follow government rules.
so I
I
love that,
mean,
Shads.
which
I
is
love that you
reasonable.
were able to say they're private entities. Not only that, but like they are global organizations or platforms, and people from different walks of life they interact with the same platform. Now, you know, a lot of people will disagree with you. They'll say, you know what, but if it's a social media platform, if we're here for free speech, regardless of where we're from, why censor us? Like, someone had said to me earlier today that if you do something that is illegal or questionable in real life, if you do that online, like if it's a threat, then that is something that should be censored. But if it's just sharing your opinions, do you believe that, let's say I'm pro-life or pro-choice, or I'm pro-vaccine, anti-vaccine, do you believe, or I'm a supporter of all things orange, that comes in a bag with
I think
keto on
I
it,
think
or I'm not one of those people.
I think people need to, I mean, yes, there's censorship where it does get to a point where, okay, like now you're just like hampering what people say and do. Like I experienced it and many other people just experienced that today. Like we noticed that all our stories were removed by Instagram for posting stuff about the indigenous missing women and girls.
Hmm.
Those were all removed. That's a form of censorship. And
Right,
why are
right.
you removing that when that's something that people need to be made aware of? However, you could look at it where it's like, well, it's kind of a way to save yourself because you could easily be incriminating yourself now
Right, right.
for a lot of things. You could be incriminating yourself, and now you might risk losing a job, you might risk getting a job, you might risk a lot of things. And so, in a way, they're kind of doing you a favor because you don't know when to zip it. So, they're helping you to zip it.
Okay,
Right. So,
okay. That.
my opinion on censorship, I think it's something that's needed on all platforms. But what I've
Mhm.
observed, I'll use an example. There's a certain president that was censored recently, like banned recently, and
Right.
Hmm.
we
And
saw
was
what
banned again today,
banned
And
again.
still
apparently.
is.
And still is banned.
Hmm.
But we saw what his tweets and his post incited. We saw the results of
Hmm.
his tweets. So
Yep.
that's why I think censorship is needed. There's also censorship in what your children are consuming.
Exactly.
I think it's really important to sense what children are consuming because what they consume now influences what they do in the future. So I think censorship
Yep.
isn't really bad when it comes down to that.
Right.
The only challenge, where I have a challenge with censorship is where you're like the BLM movement, where people were censored, some posts were censored for that.
Hmm.
Some people get censored for speaking on rape and women's issues.
Right,
But
right.
when it comes to that, I don't know why the platform censor it. I really have no clue, but I think it's important to get those voices out there. So that's what the only thing I have, the only issue I have with censorship.
I actually
Which is
love
fair. And
that.
it's true.
Something I've learned recently, and I saw this on social media, specifically YouTube. Let's say a blogger, or I saw it on Facebook as well. There's certain words that cannot be mentioned because the entire post is going to be censored.
Yep.
There is this one person I follow. I think her name is Loie Lane. And she tells like scary stories. Whenever the K word, which is to unalive someone, and I'm saying unalive because we can say that on a platform, when you unalive someone, that's either beeped out, or she doesn't say it, or she'll spell it backwards. Because social media websites and the algorithms are so smart that they're going to censor that kind of content, even with the
Yeah.
names of the titles that you're giving to your videos, and songs and stuff like that. If
Yep.
it has a word that is considered a trigger word, those are actually censored. So people have spelled like the K word to unalive people incorrectly, or they've used symbols, which I guess it
Yeah.
tricks the algorithm into thinking it's not the word they're actually talking about. But if you look
Even
at,
as simple as like identifying people's.
hmm,
Um,
I mean, I can't
So
speak for that.
I don't even want to say the word because then who knows?
Mm, mm. So I
We might
so
get censored.
I love that we spoke about censorship. But should trolls, like someone who is on social media, someone who is like, I go on Six Buzz a lot. I don't know about anybody else, but I sit on Six Buzz and it triggers me because there's some people in this country that, I'm not saying that you can't share your opinion, but those people, they know themselves. They be doing the most. Do you feel that
Of course.
trolls should be censored?
Well, a troll's whole prerogative is to get the attention. So yeah, send the hell out of them.
So Mario, you know what? We're young and we know what trolls are, and I totally forgot I used that term, trolls. To someone like my grandmother who will watch this episode, she's like, "Trolls? You mean the thing that live under the bridge? Like, what is a troll?"
A troll is
So a
someone
troll is
who
someone that
basically
their
tries
sole
to.
mission on social media is to provoke you, is to um, to get you angry, to make you mad, and it's your
Mm,
mission to
Yeah,
weed them out. It's your mission to not get phased by
it's
those
your
comments.
mission.
I mean, not everybody has the has the capacity to just ignore it. Some people have really some people have feelings, and trolls feed off feelings.
mhm.
So
Yeah,
that's what a troll means to me. I don't feed it to trolls. I don't pay them any attention. I know what and when you're trying. I know when you're trying to get me angry. So I don't pay you no mind.
yeah. And trolls come in different form because sometimes they might not necessarily, because like the whole basis of them really is to insinuate conflict and create arguments and even uh, insert false information,
Mhm.
right? It's a manipulation thing. Like they do come in different forms where they're not necessarily attacking what the post might say or what the person in there. They might just simply be, let me just like make a comment about something that's not even true, but it might gain some traction, and that's all I need. There are people that are paid to be trolls, and it
Interesting.
happens a lot during it happens a lot during like political times, like elections and stuff.
Hmm. I love that. I love that we were able to get to, you know, the intricacies of social media, speaking about trolling, speaking about censorship, and even defining social media. But, we're going to have to get to some fun stuff. So we'll be right back after these messages. Hey, and we're back. That was a very quick break. Hope you liked the commercial. Now, we're going to get into a little bit more of what we were discussing in social media. Now, we learned in the previous session that trolls do not live under bridges, they actually live on the internet, and their sole purpose is to annoy and to disrupt the normal flow of your life. Now, that being said, now that we now know what trolls are and they're not, mythical creatures, we're going to go into something called clout chasing. Now, if you're like me, you listen to music, but you're not quite sure what these words mean, right? For example, Cardi B came out with a song that was called Clout. I had no clue what clout was or is or will be. I didn't have the time to go Urban Dictionary it to find out what it meant. So that being said,
Such a
I'm
grandpa.
legitimately going to I'm going to ignore Shads, but I'm going to ask Mario, what is clout?
So in my opinion, cloud is doing things online to gain popularity.
Mm-hmm.
So it's posting those ridiculous pictures and videos, or quote unquote hyping yourself up to be something that you're not really. and that you're not really are. So, or someone that you're not really are. So, that's what clout is, in my opinion. Also, there's also clout that is legitimate clout, where you are somebody with power
Hmm.
and somebody that has a presence and somebody that has particular influence in a particular sector or group. So there's also clout, and
Yeah.
then there's clout. If you understand what I mean.
You know
Yes.
what?
I, who am not a grandma,
Okay,
understands what
so
you mean, Mario. I can't speak
Young,
for that
Fresh,
one
and
over
Green
there.
over here is going to tell us what clout is because she is hanging with the Gen X's.
Wait, Young Fresh and Green? The Gen
I said what I
X's?
said. Wait. What did Queen Lady Gangster say? I'm full of chat. I'm a non take it
See,
back. Yeah, non
But
take it
chat
back.
them and not take
Yeah,
it back.
that.
do you know that the Gen X are your parents, right?
Oh wait, Gen
Maybe
Z. Sorry,
Gen
you
Z's.
see, this is how old
See,
I am. I can't
see,
even track it, fams. This is how old I am,
sir.
right? I can't even track it. We're at Z now. Okay. You're hanging out with the Gen
You
Zs.
are hanging with your
Yeah,
parents.
Maxine, big up yourself. You're my best friend. Hey, bestie. um, so Shads, you're hanging with the Gen Zs. What is clout? Like, what exactly is it?
Cloth is simply someone who is famous or is someone who's in power that has influence, someone who, when it comes to clout on the level of like clout chasing, it's someone who basically does something, whether it's ridiculous, all the examples that Mario said, where they're just doing stuff for attention on social media. It could be next level
Right, right.
dangerous. It could be
Mm-hmm.
harmless, but it's still a way for them to collect those likes and get those shares, and
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
hopefully make bank off of it.
That's fair.
Yeah, trying to be an
Trying to
influencer.
be an influencer. Okay, so I know like
Yes.
with this podcast, the listenership, the viewership, the age range varies, and we have a lot of people who are Gen X's who are watching and listening, and they don't know what clout is. For example, the Lord has blessed me tremendously, and I was able to afford a condo downtown Toronto. I was able to buy myself a Tesla. Guys, if you don't know what a Tesla is, look it up. And I was able to cop a new job,
It's the Apple of electric
right?
cars.
Now, if I was able to do all these things, should I not be celebrating? Should I not be popping bottles? Should I not be sharing that on social
Yeah,
media?
celebrate.
Is
Go
that
ahead.
clout?
Share, celebrate, share, celebrate. No, not necessarily. Clout is if you're constantly posting, like, how do I put it? There's so many different ways of trying to get
Mm-hmm.
clout. There is. It depends on your brand, to be honest. It all boils down to your
Yeah.
brand. So if my particular brand I feel is more lifestyle and
Mm-hmm.
luxury, travel, that kind of stuff. So if I do it, it doesn't come off that
Because
way.
it's who you are as a
It
Yeah.
comes off
Which.
person.
right.
Yeah.
That's who I
Yeah.
am. People know me for always drinking wine. I have hosted several wine tastings. Like so, if I'm posting about wine,
Rose all day.
nobody sees that as clout. They see that as a part of my brand. But
Yes.
if let's see somebody else goes and say, "Oh, look at Mario, always posting about his wine stuff," to try and bring me down, to try and be a
Mm-hmm.
troll, um, they can be seen as trying to chase clout or trying to get clout based off what I am doing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
If you understand that, I don't know if I make any sense. I am very drunk.
Okay, okay. So, let's go back to
No, it makes sense.
let's
It
go back
totally
to
does.
the people that we hold dear. We're back in Jamaica, or we have our aunties and uncles
Mhm.
on Jamaica, on social media in Jamaica, brother Rufus and sister Precious, and sister Precious got some things from foreign, and she dressed up nice, and she's going to church. She said, "Wait, Sasha, snap a picture with me," and she posts that to her social media, right? all the church people who follow her, they're going to see it. Is Sister Precious doing that for clothes, or is she just showing off that the Lord has
No,
blessed her?
no, she feels good and she wants to share with the world, and that's Sister Precious'
Okay.
business.
Yep.
So it's not necessarily chasing clothes. It's just a
I
Precious
think.
saying, "Hey, I got a new outfit. Check it out. Like
Yeah.
it
So
or
if Sister
don't."
Precious
I think if it was done in a
so wait there,
braggadocious way.
braggadocious. Go back to the word that don't exist in our real life. We're not gonna talk about that. But what if Sister Precious decides to post, OOTD, which is outfit of the day, which is every Sunday? Is
Mhm.
that her? If is that how? So, for example, if I'm
That
evolving,
then becomes
so
a
if
part of
I'm
her brand.
evolving as a person where I'm doing outfits of the day, is that how does one differentiate me changing my brand to me now doing this for clothes?
So if Sister Precious poses this outfit every Sunday and people look forward to what Sister Precious is wearing, then that becomes
Okay.
her brand. So it
That's
doesn't
her
come off as
niche.
her,
Yeah.
yeah, that's her niche. It doesn't come off as her bragging or trying to get clout based off her barrel or her sister sent from New York. um, so it's a part of who she is online. It's a part of her fingerprint
Okay.
online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Shads, you had a lot to say.
So
There's
it's different.
definitely.
It's different. So if she was doing this um by herself, it's just a random thing, and then she ends up complaining or saying, "Oh, comparing herself to Sister
Mm-hmm.
Pam," then trying to create that rift between herself and Sister Pam online, then
Yeah.
it can come off as a bit of her trying to chase clothes or trying to get clothes from that. But if she
Yeah.
just
If
doing her
sister, if
OOTDs,
she's at a higher.
yeah, if she's just doing her OOTDs, then that's just her sharing her stuff. And if you like it, like it. If you don't.
Okay. Okay. I feel like clout is this word. Like I feel like people who say that I'm doing something for clout or you're doing something for clout, I feel it's bad mind. Y'all don't feel it's bad mind? Me feel it's bad mind. Like,
It can come off like
It
that.
can be. It can be seen as like someone who is definitely envious. Their bad mind. That
Mhm.
well, here's this person that's showing what they have. But like again, like everything, like people need to be mindful, like some things can be done but do it tastefully,
Right.
and then some things definitely come off like in a very bragging way
mm-hmm,
where, like for example, like the other day, like not other day but like Drake for example had like posted some stuff and he was basically like showing off like his in the inside of his house. He's showing off like luxury items, and this was in the middle of the pandemic where there are people who were losing their jobs. There are people who businesses are closing down, and people just felt like that was not the time to be showing your stuff. Like, yeah, we know you have
mm-hmm,
these things, but like we don't care. There are people who post these things who are already famous, and it is still a form of clout. And they end up getting screwed over for it, and they die. The perfect example of that is Pop Smoke. He died doing something that people would consider um you're posting something for clout,
mm,
right? And it just so happened that his address popped up on there.
right, right.
So I
I'm sorry, I
mean,
have no
clout's
idea.
not new. What?
I have
Hmm.
no idea who that is.
Yeah.
You don't know who Pop Smoke is?
I have no clue.
Huh? Huh?
Peeps, if you know who Pop
My
Smoke is,
soul.
please leave it in the comments for Mario so that he could go back, revisit,
Yeah,
and
please
listen to
inform
some
me.
of his music on a
Yes,
platform.
yes, send me a video,
We
please.
will. We'll do that after the show. No, Shads. We spoke about clout,
Yeah.
and Mario had defined clout as that there are people who actually have clout, like celebrities, who have their brand, they have their clout. People who are trying to get clout are clout chasers. However, weren't there people who are now influencers who came up because they were chasing clout?
Right,
Yeah,
and be
they're the perfect
influencers.
example for that is Miss Kim
Mm-hmm.
K. Can't say West anymore because that's left. That's in the wind with the
Mm-hmm.
rest of them. But yeah, like she's like the perfect example of what someone would consider a clout chaser because like how she started off was being a stylist to celebrities and a famous celebrity being Paris Hilton. She hung out with her. She basically started copying like how she spoke, just like how she did certain things. She followed, like she was with her to the party, so then that allowed her to be around other
Mm-hmm.
celebrities and just like getting into that circle. And through that, like it helped her do what clout chase, like one of the like examples of what clout chasing is, like just following someone who's famous and then copying their styles and stuff and gaining notoriety after that. She even copied her way of being a little bit more famous. And for people who don't know what that is, I mean, she did not become famous off of posting stuff on Instagram to get people to buy them. She did not get famous because of a TV show. She got famous because of an R&B singer.
Well, she got
For
famous
those
because
of
of
you who
being her famous.
for those of you who don't know, Kim K was in a relationship with Ray J.
Rachel.
Like most other people at the time, when you are in love and you're young, one of the things that you want to do is to document your love. Um, Maybe a little bit
Young
more
in love
than you
and dumb.
should, and for whatever reason, the content of said documentation was leaked. Um, that was kind of how Kim K got famous,
Mm,
how the
allegedly.
allegedly, right? Um,
Allegedly.
so if you were
So
wondering what,
let's go
why,
back
and
to
how, was that Mario?
so uh, so I was just thinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
We say she was chasing clothes, but isn't it that she just positioned herself to gain popularity to help her
So what
success?
I'm saying, clout is a bad
But
mind
Right?
any
thing. Clout is definitely
then
a bad
anyone
mind
could say
thing.
exactly.
It was not a bad man thing. It's
So then
her,
anyone could say that, well, I'm positioning myself in a way to
to become
gain,
successful.
to become successful. So then
Right.
no one should be bashing anyone
No.
for clout
Mm-hmm.
chasing
I don't
or
believe in
anything
bashing
like that
people for clout chasing.
because,
I don't believe in bashing people for clout chasing, to be honest. I
but
think
where do you draw the
if you're
line
trying
with
to
clout
chase and secure
chasing?
that bag, go ahead and do what you have to do to secure the bag.
By any
Wow.
means necessary?
Wow.
Yeah, do it.
Secure the bag by any means
Mm,
Secure
necessary.
the bag.
by any means.
But any means
I feel like we
necessary.
should put that on a
Just make sure you
shirt.
have a lawyer
I feel
just
like
in
that should be
case.
on a shirt, like secure the bag by any means
People need to
necessary.
be living comfortably and happily.
Just make sure you have a lawyer on standby because
So
yeah,
so
that
now
can
it
get
seems
messy
like
real
clout
quick.
isn't really a thing because if we're like if we've
Like
chosen
like you
to
said, people
reword
because of
it,
the bad man.
when people say, I'm a clout chaser, I can say, no, you know what, I'm just positioning myself in life for what I want and I'm trying to secure my bag.
Yeah, and if you envy me for that,
That's
that's
on
your
you.
problem.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's
I
on
Yeah.
love
you.
that. But
That's one way to put it.
but
I think it really comes down to how, I think it's more how are you doing the clout chasing,
True.
to
mm,
be honest, that
So
people
if you
tend
if you
to
look at
get
Kim,
like
if you
annoyed
look
with
at Kim
and not so
Kardashian,
right.
much.
look at Kim Kardashian. She and Paris Hilton are friends. Her family
Mm-hmm.
and Paris's family were friends.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She positioned herself to be
Yeah.
Paris's assistant.
Mm-hmm.
She then started going out with Paris. They
Mm-hmm.
became friends. So she became a celebrity off of Paris' celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
So it
Yeah.
necessarily was not that she really chased the clout. She just happened to be very fortunate to have a good connection. Like we say in Jamaica, links around the world. She have a link and she used
That's
that
true.
link.
Networking is
Yeah,
basically,
she networked herself to a
it's a
Definitely,
form of
billionaire.
she
networking.
networked herself
Yeah.
into a video store. Yeah, I s-
Wow.
And we're not gonna bash her for
right.
that.
She
We're
Wow.
not
networked
gonna
herself
bash
into
her
a
for
video
that. And
store,
we're not bashing Katie for that.
and I'm not knocking it.
We're not in the business of bashing anybody
Yeah,
on
we're
this
I'm not
No.
bashing.
podcast unless they truly
I mean,
deserve it.
I'm not bashing Kim because I feel like when that video came out, I was probably like 18 or maybe a little bit. I'm aging myself now, but maybe a little bit older. But when it came out,
I don't even remember how old I was when it came out.
fams, you had the BlackBerry and I had the Express Music phone. Lie, the LGCU. When it came out, singular was still a thing. Singular wireless was still a thing. That's how long it was.
The fact that I don't even remember singular
Exactly. That's how
wireless,
long it's been.
maybe it's my old
Right? That's
age.
how long it's been.
The old age is kicking
But
in.
which brings us to cancel
But no,
culture,
yeah.
right? In 2021,
Mhm.
2020, 2019, the way Kim came up, right? Had she done that now, right? Women's rights movement would have been on Ray J. Other people would have, demonized Kim K, and she would have, for lack of a better word, been cancelled. So, what is cancel culture? Because it's something that we've been hearing in the news. This person is cancelled, that person is cancelled because of whatever they did in the past or in the present. So, what is cancel culture exactly, Mario? Yeah.
Oh, me. So that's it's no longer showing support for somebody that may have done something, whether it be in the past or present. So it's pretty much just not supporting somebody based off what your belief systems are.
So I have a question, right? Because I feel like a lot of people have these questions, and I've always wanted to know what is the statute of limitations. I know it sounds very legally for canceling someone. Let's say we were on Twitter in 2009, like we were all, talking cow doo on social media because we were young, and it was a place that allowed us to, as we mentioned earlier, share our views and to be individuals. And sometimes,
Right.
maybe we were doing things for clout before clout was actually a thing. So we could have said some unsavory
I kind of
things, right?
disagree.
Shads, your track record on the internet is flawless. And I hope your federal agent isn't listening because he knows better, right? True?
No, what I mean is like I kind of disagree because like we were fortunate that we grew up in a time where the majority of our lives when we did
Hmm.
stupid things were not documented on
What do
social
you mean?
media.
Like we've been
Like a
on
lot of the stuff
we've
that we
been
did,
on
like we
social
had.
media since we were like 17, 18.
Yeah, but we also did a lot of silly things that kids who are much younger
Mm-hmm.
are doing. That we had flip phones, we had Nokias, we had certain things where it's like a lot of the stuff that could easily get you canceled today. We weren't putting on social media. We weren't literally born
Mm-hmm.
into it. We grew into
Right.
it. So now of course like we have been posting stuff online with MySpace, with high five, all those things, but good luck trying to get your high five password, good luck trying to get your MySpace, so whatever incriminating thing that's possibly on there, the chance of anyone finding that is slim. If anything, maybe Facebook.
Okay.
But like it's, if anything, if you're getting canceled as someone who is a millennial or a
Right.
Gen X, it's because you use Twitter and Facebook and you said something.
Wow. I mean, but back then we didn't know better. So if, let's say, someone like me tweeted something 10 years ago and it was unsavory, well, no, it's unsavory. Um, do you think that I should be canceled for something I did when I was 18, 17? Because I feel like if we're canceling people, there is no learning process. The whole point of, you know, pointing out wrongdoing is to so that people can be rehabilitated, so that people can, have a fresh lease on life. Why aren't we allowing that to happen? And because cancer culture exists, we don't allow people to grow. We don't trust that people have grown within the last 5 to 10 years.
True.
Why is that? Why is it that cancer? What is the statute of limitations? Because I feel like if you don't like me, you can go
Right.
5 years back and I'm toxic. If you don't like me, you can go 10 years back and I'm toxic. Is 2009 Dougie the same as 2021 Dougie? No, no, they're different people. So why should I be held accountable now for something like that? Because we're talking about clout chasing, because some people believe that even with stuff like trying to remember stuff like cancer culture. Someone may have said something that was racist 10 years ago, right? The world has evolved. People have met people from different walks of life and they're able to grow from that. Why is it that we're going back 10 years and say, you know what? Well, you said that these sets of people were this, and I don't believe you've changed, even if there is virtually no evidence that this person has done anything like that within the last, let's say, 5 years. Why do we do that?
Or they've grown and learned their lesson and have done the work and have put themselves in the position of learning, of um, being labeled an ally, but yet they still get it.
Who determines who gets
So like
cancelled?
I often say that can't we're very quick to
Mm-hmm.
cancel people without giving them the chance to be rehabilitated or
Right.
reformed.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I don't support that because I do believe people can change and their opinions
Mm-hmm.
can change.
I
So
agree.
I've often wondered why are we so quick to cancel somebody for something. All right, so there's like you said, there's some things that are definitely you just have to be canceled for. Like if you're abusing children, if you're racist, if you are just a generally
Mm-hmm.
bad person, be canceled. Cancel that
Yeah,
person.
if
Yeah,
you're showing no remorse at
yeah.
all for anything you're
If you
doing.
don't own up to, if I believe if the person um is brave enough or can't identify that, hey, I did say this, own up to your problem. If I did say this 10 years ago, I wasn't aware. Now I'm aware. I'm more learned. These are no longer my opinions and thoughts. XYZ. Like we can give them a chance. Like you're still on like thin ice, but don't just cancel anybody and anybody for the simplest of things.
I agree.
Um,
I totally agree.
yeah, and like I said, there should be there probably should be a well, no, I don't think there should be a statute of limitations for being cancelled. Like for what's his name,
Mm-hmm.
R. Kelly, cancel the
But
hell out of
Shinty,
that
so
man.
here's my thing, right? And I'm all for
No,
canceling R. Kelly, right? But I feel like he was cancelled 4 years ago because people didn't know what he did then. Which I find
right?
very
We
weird, because are we trying to undo, or is it that the next generation of people, so not our generation but the generation that comes after us, are they trying to do the
mhm.
work,
Zed.
right? Gen Z or Z, are they trying to do the work that was not done 2 decades ago or a decade ago? Is that what they're trying? Because it feels to me that feels toxic. Like if
Let's call it delayed justice.
delay the justice.
Yeah.
Because our generation really we waited and trusted the justice
Hmm.
system to take
Right.
care of it. It didn't
Hmm.
happen. It was very slow, and we just couldn't deal with it anymore. So we allowed pen and paper to work. We're from the generation where we trust the law, we trust these systems put in place to protect us to work. Now, this generation, they're very quick to say, no, we're not going to wait on the law. We're not going to wait on some judge to say, okay, he's guilty. We're going to say, we're just going to stop supporting him. We're gonna stop we're gonna damage his income. We're gonna affect his income, so he can't buy certain things. So he can't afford certain things. So we can teach him that, hey, what you did is wrong. We don't support you. We don't like it, and you're
Yeah.
canceled. Bye, leave.
Yeah, they take matters into their own
Yeah,
hands
they're
right
very quick to do
away.
that.
Whereas, like, our generation and the generation before us were more, we'll take it to the streets
Hmm.
type of thing.
Right.
Or like Mario said, we'll wait for justice to actually do what justice has been created to do. Um, but of course, we've seen that in many ways that justice doesn't work in our favor or show up when it's supposed to. And so I do support Gen Z in certain
Mm-hmm.
things when it comes to that. That yeah, sometimes you really do have to take matters into your own hands and let them know that it's not
Mm-hmm.
okay. Uh, but yeah, they do take, in my opinion, I know they do take it a little too far with some things. Some things I feel
These
that
two
like,
are
okay, if we're
drastic.
going,
Yeah.
like you're canceling certain things, that it's like, how does that impact what we do now? How does that affect society? Whereas, like, if it's an actual person, like again with R. Kelly, yes, cancel the sucker because what you did is not okay, and that
Unforgivable.
needs to, especially when you're someone who is famous, like you're still setting like you're supposed to be setting an example for people, right? People look at you, so when like people see, oh well, he did all of this
Mm-hmm.
and nothing is happening, they're gonna think it's okay. But then when you start coming for cartoons and all those things, it's like,
You're
So
reaching. You're
okay, so I
stretching.
get that.
how
I
important is
get that, right?
that?
I get. So I'm going to play devil's advocate because I know for a lot of people cartoons are touchy, specifically things or cartoon characters that you grew up with. No. I actually had a conversation with someone earlier today about cartoon characters. So if you're reading the news, I think this Sleeping Beauty or Snow White set up at Disney has been cancelled because of the lack of permission, you know? Um, the whole permission thing. So no, we're not on a permission episode,
Sorry,
but we're
don't
going to
lie.
talk about the one thing that hurts Shads, which is Pepe Le Pew. No, I will agree that one
I'm not
canceling a
hurt,
cartoon is
but
a stretch. Why? Because as a Gen Z, it's very rare that you're going to see a problematic cartoon from the past, and that's why Disney has evolved, and it is toxic. But growing up, I always found something.
that's why it's
I
an
I, I,
evolved.
I always found something very like off about Pepe Le Pew. People think it's okay. Like I thought he was very persistent, and I get it. You know, to some people it's cute. He's a skunk. He's trying to date a cat. However, you know, as you guys mentioned earlier in the episode, that we have to censor things because it's what our children are exposed to. Now, while our generation was
Right.
probably not as, you know, vocal or as, you know, we didn't have the, let's use the vocabulary to say, oh, this is kind of odd because in real life, if someone was talking to my sister like that and touching her, it would have made me uncomfortable, right? The same thing with Johnny Bravo. He was a problematic character, right? But unless you had the vocabulary to voice that, you wouldn't have said anything. Am I going to go back in time and say, yo, this was problematic, cancel it? No. But do I think certain things that we grew up with was definitely toxic and could possibly impact other
We're
people?
more aware of it
Yeah.
now. We're definitely more aware of it now.
Yeah.
'Cause
Like in that
Mm-hmm.
moment, it's like in that moment, obviously when we're a certain age watching it, we still have an innocent mind. Of course,
Me
yes,
never
there might be some
innocent.
people who might be a little
Me
bit
never
more,
innocent.
yeah, like there's some people who might be a little bit more like developed in the brain, thinking a little bit further than that. But the majority were innocent in the mind, and a lot of parents would have screened certain things like Johnny Bravo. Of course, I when I was younger, no doubt I thought Johnny Bravo was annoying as hell. Like he was always trying to, like he just came off very cocky to me, and I always felt that when I was younger. But when I watched Pepe Le Pew, I I just saw it as Pepe Le Pew's a skunk. The thing that he was chasing was a cat. Obviously, that cat didn't have any interest in Pepe Le Pew because that's a cat. She's not a skunk. But Pepe Le Pew didn't realize that she wasn't a skunk. He didn't know she was a cat, right? So like he just thinking that it's another one of his species. But realistically, if anyone knows how cats behave, cats don't like people like that. Like cats don't like being touched. Cats don't like being like they come to you, right? So it's that's how I viewed it. I viewed it on a biological level where it's like we're not the same species. I don't really mess with you, like leave me alone. Again, the same thing, we could easily go as far to cancel the roadrunner and coyote. Why was the coyote so adamant on chasing the roadrunner to kill
Because
it?
you're
Why aren't we
supposed to do
canceling the
anything to
coyote?
secure the bag.
Okay, but why? That's the thing. It's like the same argument. Secure
So
the bag.
I
Hello,
love, I
sir.
love.
How does coyote?
Listen,
It's different, man.
Well, how does the
you're doing
coyote?
anything to secure whatever you. You know what?
That's
Wiley
different.
Coyote
That's
had money
different.
though. He already had the bag because he be buying stuff. He was like, in fact, he had Prime before Prime was a thing. Okay, let us not forget that. But I can understand where Gen Z is coming
I
from
think it's a
though. It's a
stretch.
stretch, but
I
I can
think it's a
see where
stretch.
they're coming from because you know what it is. I think like going online now, I've learned several tactics that were used to teach Gen Z's, right? Even English, like basic English skills that they didn't teach us growing up, but they use it for Gen Z's. If we were to use substitutes and we took out Pepe Le Pew and called Pepe Le Pew Chris and called the cat Shads, and we played out that same scenario, do you see how that looks problematic to children who are more intelligent?
I'm not saying that it's not problematic or like when you look at it, like, yeah, it perpetuates the culture of like rape and assault and stuff and harassment. I'm not saying it doesn't point that out when you look at it now as an through
Mm-hmm.
adult eyes, but I'm saying for you to go back to a
Mm-hmm.
cartoon and want to cancel it doesn't make sense. It's better for you to leave
Especially a
that
cartoon that's no
content.
longer being aired.
Yeah, it's better for you to leave that content there, point out the errors in why this is
Mm-hmm.
wrong, so that people could learn
Right.
from it. When
Right.
you remove something out of the equation completely, there's nothing there to show why this is
Mm-hmm.
not okay and why we say that what's wrong and what's not wrong anymore. It's like easily people could simply say, let's remove every bad thing that ever happened in history. But how will people who come after that know what happened in the past and know we should not do those
Okay.
things?
Should we
Sure.
cancel flags and monuments? So in the US,
That's cancel
right,
Yes.
during the Black Lives Matter protests, several flags were taken down, as well as a lot of the colonial masters. It was requested that the names for streets were changed. It was requested that statues were taken down. In fact, I think in the UK, one statue was actually thrown into a river. In the United States, Robert E. Lee.
We did that here too in we did that here as well in Montreal. There's we
Should we be
let's
canceling?
not forget
Should we be
Canada is
canceling
not
statues though,
untouched.
and historical landmarks? Should we be canceling those?
I wouldn't say cancel, I would say remove them from the public eye and place them in places
But
like a
how?
museum.
But if I don't
Museums
go to a
are
That's
museum,
not
how will I
horrifying.
know what happened in the past?
that's fine. That's what history
But
books are
history
for.
books are.
And I'm sure
But
they're in the
let's. But
history
if we're
books.
going to touch on history books, which is a little bit of a stretch, and we're
And that's what the
digresses,
internet is for.
right?
Google.
But again, going on to Google, there's so many sources. We could easily choose the wrong source, right? I'm just saying that while
And
we
people
agree that we should cancel certain things, what can we not cancel? Because you guys don't agree on cartoons, but what can we not cancel? What is untouchable? Because there are people who you cannot cancel. We cannot cancel DT, right? If you know, you know. We cannot cancel Cheetah Man. That's a fact. We can censor him, but we cannot cancel him, right?
wow.
So who can we, what and who can we not cancel?
I'll let Mark
That
I
looks like
answer
a
think
this
hard
one.
there
question.
definitely are some untouchable people. There are some
Mm-hmm.
untouchable people. Like Barack Obama's untouchable. You can't cancel Barack. He's on. He's pretty much, yeah. He's basically untouchable. You can't cancel his wife. You say you can't cancel a homeboy. BP. You can't cancel
Can't cancel Eminem.
Eminem. But why would we? Well, it goes back to the whole situation where the whole question where like why should we cancel somebody for something they did 10, 20 years ago? But I don't know, man. let's just put these old statues in museums and start celebrating people's their victories, real people.
Yeah, like those statues don't, like, personally, and like for many people, those statues represent a lot of hurt and a
Right.
lot of
Yeah.
painful reminders of what was. And again, we have places where a lot of historical things are. Museums are there. Museums will cost an arm and a leg to go to. You could you have it there, so it's not like it's completely removed from
Hmm.
human viewing. But to put something there knowing that the majority of the people who live in that area have been hurt and still hurt by something like that, it's not a good look. It's not okay. And as times change, it's like, okay, well, it's like, do we not learn from our past? Like, why, who was this person? What did they actually do for people? The
And
majority of people. You name a street, colonization street, and that's a street on a reservation. You think that's something that indigenous people want to see every time?
and again, I'm going to play devil's advocate. Please note that I stand with my indigenous brothers and sisters. However, we like to say stuff like, it is not beneficial to this group, but what about the group that it's beneficial to? Because in turn down a Robert E. Lee statue to people who fly the Confederate flag, that is an insult because to them that was their history, that was their culture, right? To them, that statue brought them joy.
And they've had their time.
Exactly. And I
They've
don't
had their
understand why
time.
people want to keep waving a flag of losers. Like, make it make
Hmm.
sense.
Okay. Okay.
They've had their
Po-
time. They're cancelled.
Okay.
yeah,
We're not supporting them.
Okay.
it's that simple. Like, not, I mean, to say nobody is not
Right.
untouchable, because yes, we all are like one, we're all one tweet, one Instagram post, one TikTok video away from getting canceled. We're what, or saying something that we
Right.
shouldn't say, and then we're viewed completely
Right.
differently.
Sure.
You could be someone. I take issue with people who their entire life they have promoted
Mm-hmm.
positivity, and an accusation comes up after
Mm-hmm.
years that is found to be untrue, and now you want to discredit everything that person has ever done.
That
That doesn't
that
make
is true,
sense to
and I
me.
love it. That is very
Sometimes you have to
powerful.
separate the work from the person
That's
too.
true.
So, can Sir R. Kelly keep his music?
No.
I mean, his music is good. We can't even
Aha.
deny.
See, we're agreeing to disagree, and that's okay.
Can't
People will fight this out in the
cancel his music
comments.
because
We're really gonna cancel Fiesta? We're really gonna cancel Fiesta?
Yes.
cancel everything about R. Kelly. He's a dirty man.
So unfortunately, we are at the end, and I know like we could have gone on over and over and over about cancel culture, who should be cancelled, and whose music should be kept, and who should have gone to the bin. Um, but being young people, we're not as old as we actually think we are, and we have family members, we have siblings, we have friends, we have nieces, nephews on the internet. What do you want them to know? Because we're in this era of what some people call sensitivity or mindfulness or wokeness, and any and everything can get them canceled. So, in closing, guys, what do you want people to know about social media? What should they do? What should they not do? I want to go with Shad's first, because we've been going to Mario first in these discussions, being the professional. But Shad's, what would you want your grandma or your grandpa or an aunt to know about social media? Um, so that they're not cancelled. Because I still think that while some people believe that old people can't be cancelled, that they absolutely can be. And I will cancel an old person. Easy, easy. What should they know?
I mean, yes, old people can be considered are up for consideration for canceling, but quite frankly, I don't think it would even make sense based on where they are in their life,
Mm-hmm.
to focus on that. Um, because truthfully, we know a lot of elderly people are already set in their ways. I know personally, I don't have to worry about my grandparents going on to social media and making and saying anything that would cause them to be canceled. Obviously, I can't speak for everyone's grandparents, but what I can say is just in general, regardless of where your generation, which generation you're part of, um, I think everyone should just remember that we created the internet. Um, we created the internet with good intentions, and we have received a lot of good from it. It has allowed us to do a lot of things. It's allowed us to put to shed light on social issues, on environmental issues, on political issues, and it's given us that visibility that wasn't there before. We didn't know what was happening on the other side of the world. We didn't know what were happening in countries like, for example, right now, Colombia is literally sending an SOS to the world. And if it
Mm-hmm.
weren't for social media, we wouldn't know about those things. If it weren't for social media, we wouldn't know about what's happening in India and how they're having a severely hard time right now battling their double variant of the virus. And it has its good, and yes, everything regardless of what it is has its bad, but I think if we do our best as humans to drown out the bad and shed light on the good, it will at least help restore some balance there. And also just simply remember that reality is not behind the screen. Reality is off the screen, and it's okay to take breaks from it too. That's something else that a lot of people forget to do. So
Mm.
those are just my
Your 2 cents. I like that.
dues. I don't want to cancel anybody.
Um,
Mario, thank
all
you
I,
for being here.
no problem.
I need to hear yours.
All I have to
What
say is it's nothing as long as Chad's. I just have one thing to say is be mindful of what you put out there. Uh, the internet is something that is forever, so don't do anything your
Mhm.
parents wouldn't do. So just be mindful of what you put.
I mean,
maybe you
Because
don't know my parents.
yeah, but at the end of the day,
woo, some
you
people's
gotta be
parents
mindful.
are like,
I'm just saying, maybe you don't know
not
my
my
parents.
parents. My parents are good, but some
I
people's
ain't lying for.
parents.
I ain't swearing for nobody.
But yeah, just be
But
mindful of what you put out there, and people's feelings matter. So
Definitely,
be careful.
I like that.
definitely.
For me, the internet is one of the greatest inventions that we have. As Shad's mentioned, there is good and there is bad. I cannot tell you how to feel. I cannot tell you how to act. I cannot tell you how to behave in general. No one should police you like that. No one should tell you what you can and can't post. What I am saying that be mindful of what you do post, because if you cannot say it openly in person, it shouldn't be something that you feel you can share openly on the internet. I'm just saying.
Right,
um you
right.
can follow a chat, but if you can't back it up, then you are just a Twitter gangster. You are an Instagram gangster. You are
Keyboard
a
warrior.
keyboard warrior. You are a Facebook baddie. It makes no sense. So just be mindful of what you put on the internet, and if you can't
A
see it in
Facebook
person,
buddy is a whole different thing.
um don't. Absolutely do not put it on the internet. And you are allowed to share your viewpoints, you know? I'm not in the canceling business. I believe that everything should be a learning experience because only through learning can we be better people. And just
Exactly.
be careful. And nobody's trying to watch you through your computer screens. Absolutely no one. Those are targeted attacks. You're a normal person. I'm just putting that out there because a lot of people feel like they're always being spied on through their cameras. Um, but we've gotten to the end, and again, great conversation. Mario, not quite sure. I mean, you're the social media type, but I'm not quite sure if you want a bunch of people following you. But if you do, where can we find you?
Do you want
Um,
Clout or not?
I don't need Clout, darling. um, yeah, it's Mario Alamar on Instagram, Mario A. Palmer on Twitter, and those are my only socials, to be honest. Yeah,
Wow.
and Facebook as well, like my
I
family.
I felt bad that you didn't say Facebook. I'm like, yo, am I that old? Am I not supposed to have
Did he
Facebook?
get rid of Facebook?
No,
You know what
Facebook
I
is
mean?
only for
Like,
work. I only have Facebook because I have to manage pages. So
hmm,
that's
okay. And
and
I
Facebook
love that.
Marketplace.
It's been and Facebook Marketplace. That is true. I mean, I'll be buying tons of stuff on Facebook Marketplace,
I swear you have a buying problem, but
right? I mean, it is better than Prime. I just have to go pick it up. But
true.
this was a great conversation, and I really hope that our listeners and viewers will be able to participate in the conversation. Let's talk about cancel culture in the comments below. And again, I'm going to ask you if you've gotten this far in the podcast. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And if you have any topics for us, go ahead and put that in the comments as well. Now, until next time, I'm going to ask you to be careful on the internet and walk good.